Oh, bonjour. Jaguar has always been a synonym of high-end engineering and superb design. Their role is to give life to the ideas of the designers, whatever the car is. Their job consists in respecting their specifications and, for them, quality the capacity to meet with these given goals. It's this thoroughness that they cultivate here. They are building luxury cars. What does the brand want to ensure to their customers? Well, that the first electric car from Jaguar will be as good as they can expect from such a well-known company. The I-based car project aims to allow customers to drive 500 kilometers on one charge, but also provide a good-looking car with performances close to sport cars once. How will it be possible? What has been done yet? Well, to sum it up clearly, we can use this framework because it covers everything that will be new. New science, new design, and new feelings. The engineers concluded that this is the most efficient. Why? This flat battery gives the car a low gravity center, and the two electric engines are already on the transmission trees. That gave plenty space to the designers to create a whole new car's shape. Pushed forward thanks to the lack of front combustion engine, the interior gives more to the back passenger. Jaguar has already created 150 prototypes of the I-Pace car and experienced it in the most extreme conditions. The Arctic's cold snow and the Dubai's hot sand, finishing with an Nordschleife track in Germany. Jaguar seems to be prepared for the future, but other brands are already in the mood.
Our aim is to investigate if Jaguar can successfully withhold a strong stance in the electric car industry over the next 20 years. The main questions to consider are why Jaguar is entering the electric car market, who is it competing with, and how will these affect the company internally.
As we just heard, Jaguar Land Rover is going to diversify its product portfolio by entering the electric vehicle segment. However, successfully tapping into a new market is always quite challenging because several things have to be learned and taken into account. According to David Buddy, it's highly important to get to know your stakeholders. Business Dictionary describes a stakeholder as any person, group or organization that has interest or concern in your organization. And we think that getting to know their stakeholders is highly important for Jaguar while entering a new market. What is a stakeholder analysis? It's an evaluation to identify your stakeholders and their interest and power in your organization. And why do we need this? Every stakeholder has a certain impact on your organization or company, and it's necessary to find out if they are either supporters or opponent and how influential they are to then adequately interact.
Let's visualize it. After you get to know your stakeholders and identify their level of interest and power, you can assign them to this chart, also provided by Buddy. You then see how to react. Is there only minimal effort required? Who has to be informed? Who's satisfied? And who are the key players? In our proposal, we will have a closer look at Jaguar's main stakeholders and their importance, and we will dig deeper in the report.
I've chosen to examine Body's theory as it discovers the impact of external pressures on an organisation, which includes politics and the environment. In Body's book, the external environment is described as a constantly changing threat and opportunities. How well people cope with this affects performance. I will apply the theory to coincide with my data to highlight the value and relevance in order to determine if Jaguar can hold a strong foot in its new marketplace against its competitors within 20 years.
Global governments face the controversial issue of rapid climate change. We can see the evidence for this in the 2017 Sustainability Report. This evidence is good and thorough because it's from a reliable source, and because it's factual, it shies away from being biased. The spike of this environmental pressure has risen political awareness of climate change, which has sprung upon a new wave of ethical buyers, which are in the pursuit of lowering their carbon footprint.
This data found through secondary research is very helpful for Jaguar, as we can apply it to show if they have a strong chance of withholding a strong and stable position within the new marketplace against its competitors, which have already started to excel.
Political pressures, such as the proposal for new legislation regarding the sales of combustion engines, could give Jaguar an upper hand in reaching a wider segment of buyers. However, this data is limiting because the state of the industry is in flux, which means that the legislation could not be passed or could be passed but altered. Therefore, Jaguar will lose a key point of its segment market. On the other hand, the I-PACE follows the requirements set by the government in order for it to be plausible for the subsidies, which will be discovered further in the report.
When thinking of Jaguar's competitors by entering the electric vehicle market, it might seem like their chances to successfully compete are very low, as several other car companies like Tesla, BMW, etc. already started operating in the sector quite fruitfully. But by producing an SUV, Jaguar found a market gap, as no other car company except from Tesla is offering such a car yet. But Jaguar has to back up, because the ideas of creating such a car of the competitors is already in the pipeline. Let's revisit the stakeholder analysis.
The competitors are stakeholders that play a highly important role, as their interest in blocking Jaguar's sales and decreasing their market share extremely high, just as well as their power. By offering the same product but a better execution for less money, their power and Jaguar's sale can be particularly high. However, not every car manufacturer is a key playing competitor, which will be further explained in the report.
To understand better the movements of the Jaguar company, we should use Body's framework to understand exactly the internal environment of the company. So, as we can remember from before, the aim of the company is to be part of this innovative and new electric car industry in the market. And therefore, what they're trying to do is to create new electric, hybrid or mild hybrid cars by 2020. The idea of electric cars comes from the external direct effects that touch the company. For instance, the governmental and environmental issues talked about previously. Also the competitors, who are always designing new things and offering the market new electric cars before our company, Jaguar. For example, we can read these in different articles, for example in The Guardian or in The Times. And also the evolution of technology, that it's always pressuring different companies to create new versions of their products. Sebastian Peck, director of InMotion at Jaguar, says that he's very aware of this issue of the technology, and therefore they're trying to ensure how the market is shifting at all times. Also, Ralph Speth, chief executive of Jaguar Land Rover, says that there have been problems going on. For instance, the price of the materials are quite high and therefore it's taking more time. So this can be understood better with Atkinson-Iron triangle. It describes the relationship between quality, cost and time when managing a project. In this case, the project is the creation of electric cars, and there is a big conflict between the cost and the time. They need more time because the materials are very expensive and they don't have enough financial helps to manage to get those materials. This is supported by the quality of the company. They're always trying to ensure that they keep the quality of their cars and also to maintain the power of their brand's name. Although it seems that there are many delays in the company, not everything is as negative as it seems. They are thinking about launching in 2018 the I-PACE concept electric car, which is the first ever car that is completely electric. It also has 25,000 pre-orders already. It can ride up to 500 kilometers just by one charge. Also, they are creating different models so that customers have a wide range of variety of cars to choose from. Also, this has lots of benefits for the people because they are going to create more than 40,000 new job positions in the company. We shall not forget that they are also saying that since all these cars are very expensive, they will still create petrol and diesel cars for 2020. All this is important because this way Jaguar Land Rover is going to manage to get a successful and strong place in the electric car market. This is supported by Ian Graham King's opinion.
To sum up, after analyzing and gathering all the necessary information and data to understand Jaguar and Range Rover and external influences, we can conclude that Jaguar and Land Rover might be successful over the next 20 years. Although the time and the material cost haven't always been on their side, they are still working on the electric cars and brand in order to reach a new market. For instance, the I-PACE, as we mentioned before, will introduce a new model in 2018. Despite the electric car idea has been already introduced in the industry and other companies have developed their own ideas, Jaguar is trying to also create something new, such as a sport utility vehicle. We also shouldn't forget about the body theory. and its integrated structure allowed us to link objectives in order to meet our aim and reach our conclusion as a team, instead just a simple group. As for the next steps as a team, we will go into more depth about each framework and possibly explore more data in a few upcoming weeks. In other words, we will gather more data about our objectives and our main aim as well.